Hi, I'm Anna, and welcome to another prenatal class. So today we're looking at the theme of surrender and acceptance. Before we jump in to talk a little bit about that, then I just want to say if you do want to use some props, then grab them. I'll give options for things without props too, if you don't have any, but I would recommend grabbing a blanket and a couple of cushions to have handy. If you do have some yoga props, then grab those. A couple of blocks, a bolster would be really good, or anything else that you like to use. So before we start moving the body, just taking a comfortable seat. So either kneeling, cross-legged, or you could lie down if you'd like to, just for a couple of minutes of meditation and internal reflection. So just taking the time now to settle into a comfortable position. Today we're going to be looking at acceptance and surrender. So what does this mean? So pregnancy, whether it's your first child or subsequent pregnancies, then it's a time of incredible change. And it can feel quite scary at times. There can be some apprehension, some fear, some anxiety around the change that is coming and what that means for you, for your family, for your life, other parts of your life, your career, your identity as a person. And yeah, it can also be a really beautiful time to take the opportunity to find acceptance in the change and really go inward and look for things that maybe it's time to let go of, beliefs or particular emotions that we've been holding on to that aren't useful anymore, that are no longer serving you. It's not an easy process at times to let go of some of those things, but this is sort of an invitation to start to entertain the idea and to examine some of those beliefs that we may not even realize that we have. So now, just in this meditation, here just for a few minutes, I'd like you to bring some awareness to some particular thoughts or beliefs that you have around your pregnancy or coming up birth or having a baby in your life that may be present for you. It could be a persistent thought. I'll give a few examples that might be useful if you can't really think of anything at the minute. So for me, I struggled with thoughts like, I won't be good enough. I won't be a good enough mother. I don't have what it takes to do this. It's going to be too hard. I'm not strong enough for the birth. I don't know what I'm doing. I can't cope. All these type of thoughts or feelings or beliefs that you have about yourself. It could be things around the life changes that are coming. Like, how is this going to affect my career? I'm not going to be able to do the things I want to do. There's a lot of negativity that comes from our society as well around this. People saying things to you like, oh, sleep now, you're never going to sleep again, and you don't know pain yet. You know, they might say that to you about the birth. Really unhelpful things that can become our own beliefs and ingrained in us. So just taking a moment now to bring some to mind that are, personal to you. Noticing when you bring that to mind, where do you feel it in the body? Do you get a particular sensation in the body or a particular emotion arising? Now, when I talk about acceptance and surrender, I don't mean just accepting that these things are basically. So, oh, yep, now my life is ruined or my body is ruined, and just accepting that. What I mean is being able to go with the flow of the changes that are coming, but in a way that you feel good about. So doing some self-inquiry about your beliefs, examining those things, and then accepting and surrendering to the things that we can't change or that we do not have any influence over. And accepting that there is some unpredictability in this as well. And that is a beautiful part of this process. But that it's okay to be feeling all the things, all the emotions and the anxiety, the anger, the sadness, the joy, all mixed up together. Okay, now just bringing your awareness to the breath. Beginning to deepen and broaden that breath just a little. Let's take one hand to the chest and one to the abdomen. Noticing where you breathe. Most of us is quite shallow, and especially during pregnancy, it can feel hard to breathe down into the belly. But just trying now, on your next inhale, to breathe down into the belly so the bottom hand expands outwards. And slowing down both the inhale and the exhale. Think about breathing not only into the chest and the belly, but into the back of the ribs as well. So we're getting this beautiful 360-degree breath. Allowing the shoulders to relax, the jaw to relax and soften. The face is soft. Nothing else needs to be turned on right now. And resting the hands down in your lap, gently opening your eyes. Okay, we're going to jump into a little bit of pelvic floor work, just seated. So if you have something to sit on, that would be great, like a bolster between your legs to straddle it. A foam roller is really good if you have one of those handy. Otherwise, a cushion can work just fine as well. So you'll just pop that prop between your legs and just straddling it in a kneeling position. Okay, this allows us to get some feedback from the pelvic floor. You can actually feel that pressure on that area. So just rocking side to side on your prop and forward and back, and feeling that pressure shift from the front to the back and to the sides. If you don't have a prop, or you just couldn't be bothered to go get a cushion or something, totally get it, then just do this with your hand. So you'll just place your hand over, the outer vulva and down sort of towards the, over the perineum, so that you can get the same feedback, and you can just rock forward and back and side to side. Okay, so you can feel that area. So now we're going to take some little engagements here. So with that nice deep breath that we already were doing before, just now, we're going to inhale nice and deeply into the belly. As you exhale, I want you to lift and squeeze your pelvic floor. So it should feel like lifting up, not a bearing down. When you inhale, you'll release. And exhale, fully relax. Let's do two more. You'll inhale. On the exhale, lift and squeeze. Try not to squeeze everything around it, like the glutes will want to turn on, the legs might clench and engage, the abdomen might clench. And inhale, relax. Exhale, fully relax. So everything else stays relaxed. Inhale, one more. Exhale, lift and squeeze. Inhale, relax. Exhale, fully lengthen back down. Beautiful. Okay, coming off the cushion now. So that's a good one. If you are struggling to connect with that area, don't know what's going on, then have something there for your for some feedback. Okay, now we're going to rock over onto hands and knees into all fours position, and we're going to do a little bit of core work. So here we're going to add some core activation to our pelvic floor lift. So this is going to feel like the sides of the abdomen wrapping around and the belly button gently moving back towards the spine. During pregnancy, it's great because you can really see this happening in the abdomen really strongly with the belly moving. So inhaling like we were before. Exhale, lift and squeeze the pelvic floor, round slightly through the back, pull the belly button back, and the wrapping and activating of the core. Everything should feel turned on. And inhale, relax back to neutral spine. Exhale, fully lengthen. Let's do that again. Inhale. Exhale. Slightly round. Lift and squeeze pelvic floor. Wrap the core, belly button moves back. Inhale, release back to neutral spine. Exhale, release fully. Okay, I'm going to do that again. This time I'd like you to try using an audible sound on the exhale. So like a hissing sound with the tongue pressing up against the teeth. Okay, so we'll inhale, prepare. Exhale, lift and squeeze, wrapping those core muscles, belly button moves back, slightly rounding. Push the floor away. Inhale, release. Exhale, fully relax. Okay, we're going to add a little bit more on now. Inhale. Exhale. This time right leg goes back. Keep that engagement. If that feels okay, we lift the leg up only to hip height and keep that lower back flattened out. Inhale, knee comes down. Exhale, release. Inhale. Exhale. Lift and squeeze, wrap. Left leg comes back. Just to hip height, keep that low pelvis tucked and the low back flat. Hold there. Inhale, come back down. Exhale, relax. If that felt okay, we're going to add the opposite arm lift on, or you can just repeat the leg, okay? Inhale, right leg comes back. Exhale, lift and squeeze, wrap. Left arm comes up. Keep that pelvis tucked, nice and long through the spine. Hold. Calm down. Inhale, release. Exhale. Inhale. Lift and wrap. Left leg comes back. Right arm comes up. Keep that pelvis tucked, nice and long through the spine. No dumping through the low back, okay? Nice and active here. Hold. Coming all the way down, inhale. Exhale. Okay, we're going to work a little bit on the glutes now. So inhale, prepare same way. Exhale. Lift and squeeze, wrap the core. Right leg is going to lift up in this lifted position, fire hydrant position. So hold here. You can come a little higher if you can, but we don't want to be tipping all the way out. Hold. Calm down. Inhale. Exhale, straight back up.
Lift and squeeze, wrap out to the side. Inhale down. Exhale. Lift and squeeze, wrap, hold. And back down. Inhale. Release. Other side. Inhale, prepare. Exhale. Left leg comes up. Hold. Inhale down. Release. Straight into the next one. Exhale. Lift and squeeze. Wrap the core. Left leg comes up. Remember, it can just be a tiny lift off the ground. Doesn't have to be high. Inhale. Down. Release. Exhale. Last one. Hold. And come down. Inhale. Exhale. Just rocking back onto the knees. Thinking about everything relaxing now through the pelvic floor and the core. Belly is nice and soft again. And pelvic floor is relaxed. Don't hold on to any of that tension. Beautiful. Let's take a child's pose here. So taking the knees apart, or a puppy pose for those who are a little further along with the bigger belly. So you can come fingertips forward, keeping that tuck through the pelvis, and forehead comes down towards the floor. Or you can rock back into a more traditional child's pose with a prop, bolster or cushion. Nice. Coming back up. So here we're going to take a downward facing dog. So tucking under the toes. If you prefer to stay in a puppy pose, downward dog's not feeling it today, then that's fine. Then we're just going to lift and come back into downward facing. You can take the knees, the feet a little wider apart to create some room. Keep a bend through the knees and then just pedaling out through the feet to work into the hamstrings. Beautiful. Okay, from here, rocking down onto the knees and then keeping the pelvis tucked, we're rocking forward into a plank position, rocking back, tuck under to our downward facing. To the knees, rock the weight forward, keep the pelvis tucked, rock back and back to downward facing. Some of you will still feel okay in a plank position, then you can feel free to rock forward straight into plank. So that would be, but just combine that with your exhale and make sure you're lifting and wrapping before you rock forward to plank. Okay, and we're just coming in and out of it. We're not holding plank. If that feels a bit strong, you just keep with this version here. Beautiful. Let's meet back in downward facing or on all fours. You can drop to the knees and we're going to take a little bit of a hip opener. So right leg is going to lift off the mat. Flex the foot and then send that foot towards the back corner of the room, not allowing the hip to turn out just yet. So hips are square to the mat. Now let's bend through the knee and then allow that hip to open out by sending the foot away. You can do this from all fours too, if you're down there. Coming back to the breath, just nice and even, in and out through the nostrils if you can. Let's take some little circles here. So just circling through the hip. You might find the hips are feeling a bit loose or a bit unstable during pregnancy with the relaxin hormone starting to be released in the body, change direction. Lovely. Send that foot back down to the floor. If you're still in downward dog, you need a little rest between sides, you'll just come down onto all fours. Okay, we're going to take the other side. I'll do this one in all fours now, but do the same on both sides that you did. So this time we're going to send the left leg to the back of the room. So if you're doing down dog, come up to your down dog first. Keep the hips square. And then we'll bend through the knee, open out through that hip, keeping nice and stable through the hands, and let's take some circles through that hip. And change direction. Lovely. Set that foot down. If you're in downward facing, just lowering the knees back to meet us here on the floor. Beautiful. So from here, take the knees a little bit wider, starting to walk the hands back, and we're going to come into our Malasana squat. Lovely. So if you need some props for this, then you will just grab a cushion or a bolster to sit on, or something under the heels as well can be nice too. Beautiful. And opening out through the hips. So think about driving the knees away, long through the spine, so we're not slouching forward. And if you don't have enough room for this at the moment, then you take a wider squat with the heels, the toes facing further out, and you can take the feet a little bit further away and just take a supported version on your cushion or prop. Okay. Let's take a nice gentle open twist here. So left hand is going to stay down onto the mat. Right hand is going to come up, and we're just gazing up towards the hand or just out towards the right hand side. Right arm comes down, left arm up, take the gaze up or just out to the left. Beautiful. And back down. From here, we're going to come up to standing. So from this squat position, just start to lift the hips up and then press yourself all the way to stand. Lovely. From this standing position, you're just going to bring the weight into the left leg, take the right leg back into a lunge position, and then arms come up overhead. So in a high crescent lunge, then keeping that pelvis tucked under. Then we're just going to take the right knee down towards the ground to tap and come back up. And tap, come back up. Take the arms out to a cactus position if you like, to get a little bit of opening through the chest and shoulders. Just watch that you don't lose that nice low back lengthening. And back up. Nice. Reaching forward, we're going to take a step all the way back to stand, or just a slight squat through the knees, and then left leg comes back. Let's open out through the chest and tap and up. Keep that pelvis tucked under and this breath nice and steady. Strengthening through those legs. Nice. We're going to lean forward, step back to the front, and lift all the way up. Taking the legs nice and wide again, toes slightly faced out. We're going to come all the way back down to our squat, and hands behind to help you to sit all the way down onto the floor. And then coming into a comfortable seated position on the mat. Lovely.
So we're going to leave it there today. Thank you so much for joining me. And just now, let's just take a final little relaxation. So I'd encourage you to set up nice and comfy. This is the bit you don't want to skip, the best bit. So I think I showed you in the previous videos, but if you haven't done those, that's fine. Then you'll lie on your left side, have a pillow under your head and one for your leg. Coming down on the side, you can have your top leg just resting on that pillow so you have room for the belly and it's nice and comfy. Hands can just be wherever you like. Or you can be in any other position that's comfortable for you. So now letting go of any effort, allowing that breath just to become nice and relaxed back down. And just returning back to the things that we brought up at the start of class. So thinking about those thoughts, those negative thoughts or emotions or beliefs that we've been holding on to. And maybe it's time to move some of those along or challenge them. It can be a beautiful journaling exercise just to write them down and see them there on paper. And why do I believe these things? Writing down the things that we don't have control over and seeing how we could just lean into those a little bit more, into the changes that are coming, and seeing if we can find some surrender in not knowing exactly what that's going to be or what that's going to look like. Okay, I would invite you to stay here as long as you like. I hope you're super comfy, got your blanket out, got all your cushions, and just relax. But if you're ready to move on with your day, then you'll gently open your eyes, press yourself back up. And let's take 2 sighing out breaths together. Inhaling through the nose. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Beautiful. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the class and I'll see you really soon. Namaste.